Hi there, thank you for joining me today. I'm Sandra at artypapercrafters.com. My project tutorial for you today is part of my autumn watch projects, and today I have this really beautiful gold embossed card, and I've done some, what do you call it? Oh, help. I've done some sponging, that's it, sponging of all those lovely autumn colours of purples and oranges and greens, and I think that, can you see even my little button there has got like copper tones, and my lovely gold ribbon as well, and I think that's gorgeous. So let's crack on and make it. Just quickly made it with the Vintage Leaves stamp set, and of course it comes with some matching dies if you buy it as a bundle. So that's your leaves and they're your dies that cut out. So beautiful stamp set, beautiful dies. So let's put that to one side for the moment. And I've already prepped up my things, and this is the shimmery paper, and I've already started and gold embossed my leaves because you've seen me do gold embossing before, and I'm sure that you don't really need me to do it again. So let's get on with our sponging. So let me bring in some scratch paper because I don't want to make a mess everywhere. And my inks today are Rich Raspberry, Pumpkin Pie, and a little bit of Garden Green. So I'm starting off with my sponges. Let me see which was the one. I think that's probably the Rich Raspberry, and that is the green, and this is the Pumpkin Pie, I think. Yes. So we're going to start off with the Pumpkin Pie, and we start by working off onto the paper first and then coming on to the shimmer paper with our colour. And I just love this technique, I really do. My only problem is that I don't know when to stop adding the colour because I love the colour so much. I just want to keep adding more and more of it, and then I get too carried away. So just keep doing circular movements around the paper and you'll see that your colours start coming to life. So we mustn't forget about our other one, which we are going to die cut with our dies in a moment. And those beautiful coppery tones of autumn. Lovely, love them. And of course you get so many different colours in the autumn palette, really. You get pinks, you get reds, you get golds, you get greens, you even get yellows. It's just phenomenal, the colours that you get. So just keep on working that colour in until you're happy with the colour that you've got. And of course part of the leaf always stays a different colour, like it fades to a yellow, fades to then the reds. So just work that in. Pretty happy with that. And now I'm going to work my Rich Raspberry into this. Work it all over your paper until you've just got the desired effect, really. And it's not a question of right or wrong, it's a question of what you like. We all have a different mind's eye, and so if you like darker tones, pinker tones, greener tones, just work with what you think is good for you. And now I'm going to add some green. I think that might be enough of the green. Now, is it time to stop, do you think? I did this one much darker, but maybe too dark. But I do love it. I really do love it. I just love this inking. The way these inks just, oh, they're so gorgeous with their tones. Now we're getting that nice coppery look that you get with pumpkin pie. A bit more of the red. I think that is probably enough. So let's move those to one side. And so now what I'm going to do, I have prepped up on my block this splatter from the Painter's Palette stamp set. I've prepped that on my block and I'm going to put that into the green, and I'm just going to splodge that on where I think it needs some splodges, because the one thing with autumn is that it can be wet and damp and everything gets that sort of splodgy look, if you know what I mean. And I just think that that looks good like that. And I'm just going to do one or two of it in the rich raspberry until I'm happy. There, I think that might be enough. I think that might be enough. So let's put the ink away. Whoops. And then what I did was, because the sponging seems to go, obviously you're going over your gold, what I did was, and I don't know if this is a technique, but it's one I like, what I did was I went over my gold, and can you see how that's lifting that gold back out again? Because before it was starting to look a bit faded, that gold. So to bring my gold back up after my sponging, I have just rubbed a little wet wipe over it. And I think you'll agree that that definitely brings that gold back up shiny again. And I think that makes a huge difference to the finished card myself. Pretty happy with that. Yeah, that's good. And then of course got to do the same with this as well, to bring the lovely gold tones back up. And I think that's looking good. What do you think? See that lovely sheen? Right, so that's that. Clean the old hands off, get rid of the scratch paper, do not need that. So now I'm going to bring in my big shot now, and we're going to cut the little leaf out, which is this one here. I'm going to cut that out on the big shot, so I'm going to go and bring that over. And this is a very well loved big shot, as you can see. I've been cutting a lot of things with this. So plates down, put our leaf on, position that into place. I think that's good. Plate on top and roll it through. That's it. Let's get rid of the big shot. I don't need it now. Right, and then that just pushes through, pushes out. And that, if you you could actually make a card with that if you wanted to, and you could just work with that and make another card. Look how beautiful that looks through there, doesn't it? Gorgeous. So carrying on with our card. So I've already prepped up a piece of rich raspberry cardstock, and all the details and measurements will be on my blog. So if you press on the description bar, that will take you over to my blog where you'll see the measurements. So now we're going to layer it up, and I've layered it on a piece of white to just bring out the vibrancy of those colours. So let's get our Tombow and put a bit of that on. Like that. And it's just the merest slither around the outside edge, but that makes a difference. And then that's going on to a piece of pumpkin pie, because that matches up with the rest of our colours that we've used. So position that just so. Oh, before that's stuck, I've just realised, lift that up a minute, I haven't put my gold ribbon under there, just in the nick of time. So cut a little bit of my beloved gold ribbon, which I love it. I can't stop using this stuff. I just love it that much. And so I'm just going to put a bit of snail. Where's my, what have I done? I'm just going to put some fast fuse along the bottom here to just hold my ribbon along the bottom edge. So ribbon down. I'm getting into a mess with this now, aren't I? And that's something else I needed to do, was to do a little 1/8 inch hole for my little brad, which should have gone on first. So I don't know, what am I like? I haven't got my brain in gear today. Right, where's my brad? So this is like a little brad. These are retired now, from Stampin' Up have retired them, but if you've got them in your stash, they're gorgeous. And then we'll just put a bit more on there. And then secure our ribbon under the bottom. Like that. And then make sure, of course, that that is straight. And secure that down on the other side. And I'll just snip a bit of that off. I think that's just a tad too long. That's it. And then I'm just going to put a bit of Tombow on here because I think that that's probably started to dry out now. So, phew, just about salvaged that, didn't I? Never mind, it's all good, it's all good, it's all good. So now we're going to glue that onto the front of our card. Like that. That's good. Looking good. And now we want to put our leaf on here, but I have also put a little ribbon bow, so let's make ourselves a little ribbon bow. Just tie that off, pull it up tight. And then pull it back up with your fingers. And I think that's good, so I'll cut the end like that. And now we're going to position, and what I've done is I got hold of my fingers and just lifted up the edges of the leaf to give it more dimension, like that. And then that sits on there, and we're going to put that on with some dimensionals. And position that so that you can still see all three leaves. And then I think I snipped a little bit of the top of that stem off because it's slightly long. Now what I've done here is I've used the same Painter's Palette stamp set, and I've stamped out in Rich Raspberry a little expression of love from the same stamp set. And I've got my decorative label punch, and because it was too wide for the card, I've put it in and snipped shorter on both sides, but then that leaves you with these raggedy edges. So to get rid of my raggedy edges, as you can see, I've got my scissors and just curled it round to meet the other side, and the same that side. And I really don't think that that matters, that maybe it's a little misshapen. I don't think that matters, and I think that sits on there lovely. So we're going to just glue that on there. Like so. And then that's going to sit on there with the ribbon bow, like that. So I notice my ribbon bow doesn't seem to be so big. So let's pull that up, and then we're going to secure that on with a glue dot. So that fits on about there with a glue dot. And then our expression of love sits underneath it, and a couple more dimensionals on that. Like that. And I think that that looks really rather nice. I'm very pleased with that. Excuse me, I've got a frog in my throat now. It's all that talking. So that is my project tutorial for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know what you think of my projects, because I love to hear from you. And I've explained where you get the project details by clicking in that little description bar below. If I can help you with a Stampin' Up! Catalogue, if you're interested in any of these products, let me know. Send an email to sandra@artypapercrafters.com. And that's all from me today. Until next time, it's bye from me. Bye.